Marcus had lived alone in his apartment for almost 3 years. His life was a routine, a quiet loop he repeated every single day. Wake up at 6:30. Coffee, work, gym, home, and then silence. He used to like the silence, but one evening, something broke it. He came home exhausted, tossing his keys onto the kitchen counter. They landed with a strange clatter, a metal-on-metal sound that shouldn't have been there. He picked them up, and his heart stopped for a second. There was another set of keys right underneath his. They weren't just similar, they were identical. Same model, same scratches, same tiny crack in the blue plastic tag. He froze. He lived alone. He immediately checked the door. Still locked. No signs of a break-in. A wave of nervous relief washed over him. Maybe he just forgot he made a copy. It was a logical explanation, except for one thing. Marcus never made copies of anything. He was paranoid about duplicates, so much so that he didn't even trust cloud backups. He decided to brush it off, chalking it up to a long, stressful week. But the next morning, the unease returned. His shoes, which he always kicked off carelessly by the door, were placed neatly side by side. It was a small thing, almost nothing. He ignored it, but then it happened again. A cabinet door he distinctly remembered leaving open was now shut. The TV remote, usually lost in the couch cushions, was set perfectly straight on the coffee table. Fear. The bathroom towel was folded tightly, with sharp, hotel-style creases. This was getting weird. So he decided to run an experiment. Before going to bed, he deliberately created chaos. He opened every cabinet door halfway. He threw one shoe into the middle of the hallway. He left the remote upside down on the floor. Then he went to sleep, his mind racing. The next morning, he woke up to a perfectly reset apartment. Everything was fixed. Neat. Organized. Corrected. It was as if someone, or something, was tidying up his life while he slept. He knew what he had to do. He bought a small camera and set it up in the living room, pointed at his bed. Phew, watched the live feed on his phone until he drifted off. The next morning, he rewound the footage. Nothing seemed unusual. Just him, sleeping peacefully. But then, at exactly 2:13 a.m., the video changed. He sat up in bed, slowly, mechanically. His eyes were wide open, but they weren't blinking. He stood up and moved with a strange purpose. He walked to the kitchen and silently organized the cabinets. He went to the bathroom and folded the towel. He found the scattered shoes and placed them by the door. Then, just before getting back into bed, he turned and looked directly at the camera. And he smiled. It wasn't his smile. It was calm, precise, and chillingly aware. Marcos felt a cold dread creep up his spine. He had absolutely no memory of any of it. He rewound the footage 5 times, and each time, the same eerie scene played out. 2:13 a.m. Every single night. He took the footage to a sleep specialist. After a series of scans and tests, the doctor delivered the diagnosis in a quiet, clinical tone: severe stress-induced dissociative sleepwalking. Fool. His body was awake, but his conscious mind was completely asleep. But that wasn't even the most unsettling part. The doctor looked at him and asked, "Have you been feeling out of control lately?" Marcus let out a hollow laugh. His entire life felt like it was spinning out of control. Impossible deadlines at work, a recent painful breakup, the crushing weight of isolation. It was constant internal chaos. The doctor nodded sympathetically. "Your mind couldn't handle the chaos," he explained. "So it created its own control. It built order and structure while you slept. And in that moment, everything clicked into place." The second set of keys. He remembered now, a foggy memory from months ago during a particularly bad week. He had made them. His subconscious had been preparing. It had built a version of him that functioned better than he did. A calm, precise, organized version that emerged when he was at his weakest, too. While the awake Marcus was drowning in anxiety, the sleeping Marcus was methodically restoring balance. The terror wasn't that someone else was in his house. The terror was that another version of him was, and that version seemed stronger, more stable. From that night on, Marcus stopped fighting it. 2. The fear was replaced by a strange sense of curiosity. Before bed, he started leaving small notes. Please organize the desk. Could you put the laundry away? Leave a sign you were here? And every morning, the tasks were done. One day, he found a message written in clean, sharp handwriting on his bathroom mirror. You're safer when you let go. Marcus never tried to stop it again. He never set up another camera. Because for the first time in years, he felt a sense of peace. Something inside him was finally in control.